or the famous rabbis of yesteryear. Now, I want to speak about a famous rabbi. His name was Rabbi Yihiah Badihi, Badihi, or Rabbi Yihiah Badihi, you could say also. Zecher Tzadik Libracha, famous Yemenite rabbi. He was actually born in English year 1803. He passed away on the 16th of Tishrei, which happened yesterday, 4th of October, 1887. We're talking about, from time of recording, approximately near 140 years ago. He was a Mora Tzedek, he was a Rosh Hieshiva, and I believe Rosh Kollel in Btzan'ah, in Teiman, respectively, and was a head rabbi of the Jewish community of Ba'an, and one of the great rabbis of Yemen during the 19th century, respectively. A great rabbi we've spoken about on various occasions before, and we have to labor the point also, what a great Torah community there was back in the day, especially in Yemen, all throughout. Let's explore a few of the highlights of the great rabbi's life. Now, it's actually interesting. He was born in Btzan'ah. This was, remember, Btzan'ah had a very famous Jewish community, always in of its time, very, very prestigious one and a great one in of itself. While he was young, he would author as many as 2 books, it was reported over, which was absolutely astounding. He was an expert, let's just say, in Torah, v'nigla, v'nistar. He was an absolute master within regards to it, and was the brilliance within regards to the Torah was absolutely amazing. And for work, I think he would also work writing Sifrei Torah, Sefer Torahs also, and he would be appointed to head a yeshiva and the kollel in Btzan'ah, I think called the Beit Salach, a place we've spoken about on various occasions before. I think it was the Beit Knesset of the famous Rabbi the Maharitz, respectively. Now, come what the year 1843 it was, I think the Jewish community in Btzan'ah, they would have various decrees, anti-Semitic decrees put upon them. And Rabbi Badihi would work at that point in time when I think Tovei Matbeot, like within regards to the coins trades in of itself. And that was very, very important. Now, it's reported over, just to go to a bit of his history at that point in time. Obviously, there were edicts at that point in time, and I think they were imprisoned, I think. Some of them was, and I think so it was a lot of problems at that point in time, and I'll state it, what it actually says over here in Hebrew, because it will illustrate it much better. B'shnat 1843, the Jewish community, they suffered from various different gzeirot. Rabbi Badihi shishimish k'tovei matbeot beit malchut nesa im aviv akeb alila לאחר שיהודי שהיה מונע על המטבע בתימן הוצא להורג. I think he was imprisoned along with his father. ונרדף על ידי מוחמד בן יחיא, and Mochab ben Yichia, I believe he was the head person at that point in time. Bigil 43 Barach Metzana, he was able to flee the country when he was 43 years of age, and he would end up living inside the city of Kukban, I believe, and over there. So, והתיישב בעיר קוקבאן שלא הייתה כפופה למושל צנעא, ושם קיבלו היהודים חסות מראשי השבטים הערבים. I think they were able to maybe have refuge over there, and they flee from Btzan'ah, respectively. כ-30 שנה ישב שם ועמיד תלמידים. So he was able to thrive from a Torah point of view at that stage in time, when he actually got there and would raise many great students at that point in time. I think it was conquered, Btzan'ah was at later stage, through the Turks, and then he was able to return to that city, come out the year 1843, and or maybe another opinion says 1876, and very, very interesting, and obviously who raised many, many different students over there. And I think many of the Talmidim, the students, would want him to actually stay back in the place where he had come back to, where he was originally at for the previous years. Now, it's actually reported over that once he would actually return, but Btzan'ah chazal לתפקידו כראש הישיבה הכללית. When he came back finally to Btzan'ah, he'd actually return as a Rosh Hieshiva at that point in time. כמה גדולי חכמי תימן בדורו, היו תלמידיו המובהקים בהם הרב שלום אלשיך. Now, there were some really great rabbis at that stage in time in Teiman, and that were Talmidim of his, respectively. One of them, most notably, was a great rabbi named Rabbi Shalom Al-Sheikh, rabbi we've spoken about on various occasions before. He passed away on the 1st of Elul in the year 1944. He would go on to become the rabbi of the Temani community in Jerusalem. He was a very, very prominent rabbi, and much has been, let's just say, reported about him. He would become, let's just say, a shochet, a mohel, a rabbi that will perform various different circumcisions also, and various different importances, let's just say, in of itself. We've spoken about before. He was very, very well connected. He'll become the author of the Alitei Yehudei Teiman Eretz Yisrael, I believe, and would actually end up, I think, if I'm not mistaken, becoming one of the founders of the Chevrot Shivat Zion. This was another important job, let's just say, in of itself, and would actually learn in the famous Yeshivat Bet Mukubalim Bet El and Yeshivat Chesed El, also respectively, and Torah O and Yeshivat Torah Moshe, various different places. That was a great rabbi. I think he was actually very much well connected with Rabbi Chaim Shol Kohen Dweck within regards to Rehovot Hanahar. But we're going on a tangent here, because now I'm speaking about Rabbi Shlomo Alshich, but we're really speaking about the brilliance of Rav Badihi at the moment here on this specific class, just illustrating how one of the Talmidim was Rabbi Shalom Alshich, and it will really sprout, and the greatness will in of itself respectively, which is important. And then I think Liyamim Harav Arashi Varav Bedin head of, he was a chief rabbi and the head of Jewish court of the Jewish the Temani community in Jerusalem within regards to Rav Shalom Alshich. And it's actually interesting, I believe the grandson of Rav Badihi happened to be another great rabbi, Rabbi Abraham al-Nadef, another rabbi we've spoken about on various occasions before. He was also brilliant. He'd have some brilliance. He was born in the year 1866, passed away in 1940. He was a great rabbi in Eretz Yisrael and really represented the Temani community there. He'd gone to be a Rosh Yeshiva, also a Dayan, a Shluchei D'Rabbanan, an investigator, a historian also. Much can be reported over. I think we recorded a video about him at the time period of his Hilula, so that apparently was a grandson. So it's actually interesting. So he passed away on the 16th of Tishrei in the 1887. I think it was the second day of Sukkot, if I'm not mistaken. And many of the great rabbis of Btzan'ah would give a eulogy within regards to him, especially I think the famous Shadar, the Shluchei Rabban Rabbi Yecheskel Shaul Rofeh, from Eretz Yisrael, if I'm not mistaken, and there's other great rabbis also, respectively, over there that would give also, I think, rabbis from Tiberias and all over the place. We said about, I think it's Chatan, his son-in-law's name was Rabbi Chaim al-Nadef, another great rabbi. Now, it's interesting, Rabbi al-Badihi would leave us with Torah colossal works, which we also must point out. Now, among these Torah important books in of itself, just to be precise, let's just explore some of the books that was actually written by him, and we'll just continue. Okay, so among the books, including Lechem Todah, which is Biyur B'Kitzur Hilchot Shchita B'Treifot, expoundation with regards to Shchita, Treifot, kosher slaughter, Treifot, Al Pi Sefer Sha'arei Kedusha Shel Ha'Maaretz. Very, very interesting enough. So that's important work. Another book he wrote was a Perush Al Tfilot Eliyahu HaNavi, which was a book based on Kabbalah, if I'm not mistaken. Yosheh Levav Rav Emanuel Chai Riki. Remember, we've spoken about Rav Emanuel Chai Riki. He was a famous rabbi. In the summer, I think we recorded a video about him maybe about half a year ago. He was living around the 17th and 18th century, especially. He was a Rav, a Parshan, he was a Mukubal, a Paitan, a great Italian rabbi, I think from Pereira, if I'm not mistaken. And I think his Hilula actually was on the 1st of Adar. If you recollect, we did record a video about him, I think at that stage in time, which was very, very much interesting within regards to him. So you can see the brilliance within regards to him. And yeah, very, very interesting. I think another book that he would print, those were the two books he'd print while he was young, but he would print a book called the Chen Tov later on in life, which this book was based on various different chidushim on the Tanakh, the Torah, Nevi'im, and Ketuvim, I think Chalkam B'derech HaKabbalah, and there was a short Shilat Shuvot on various different chidushim teachings in of itself. And I think at the start of the Sefer will bring the Perush on Tfilat Eliyahu HaNavi and various different songs of Shabbat also. And I think will come out in Jerusalem in Sivan, Hey Tafshin Lamed. Another book would be the Zivchei Shlomim. That was a manuscript form, I believe. And Shuvot B'nei Yerusha. This will come out from the Kobetz or Yisrael, if I'm not mistaken. I think that will be printed in Bnei Brak at a later stage in time. So let's just explore a few more details within regards to the famous rabbi, because a lot is actually chronicled over within regards to him. Now, for example, just a bit of Chazara. He was born, as I said before, back in Teiman in 1803. He was grew up really imbued by the great rabbis of Teiman, respectively, which we mentioned before. We spoke about how there was troubles and sarot in Btzana'ah in 1843, which would lead to they wanting him and his father, I believe, and he would actually have to flee away to Kochab. In eventually 1873, he will actually come back to Btzana'ah over there and will be reinstated in his position. Now, he passed away in the 1887, and yes, we're talking about just 140 years ago, approximately, over here. Let's explore a few of the highlights from the famous rabbi's book. I think from the Chento, for example, in Amud Resh Yud Aleph Resh Tet Zayin, it states over, Melamed Kama Gadol Koach HaMinhag Kishtamo Oseh Shalom Bein Gedolim. This is one of the teachings actually very much featured over here. Another teaching that's actually stated in the Chento, I think in page 65, it says, Melamed Sheminhag Avotav Nechabed Mamash Imtza B'Sefer. Another teaching, Melamed Limshoch Lev Adam Kshiatchil Lilmod Atzara B'Suprei Agada. This is from the Chentov once again in Amud Bet and Gimel, respectively. Another teaching, Melamed Shishtalem HaPerat Gam HaKlalei Yishtalem. You are called Chiber Echad. This is very much featured, I believe, in page 64. It's printed in Jerusalem, I think, maybe in the year 1970. Two more short, cute ideas, which he actually teaches over using the Hayami website again, once again, for this. In the Chentov, in I think page 31, Amud 31, it says, Melamed, Yitzchak Ra'a Ba'asa, Be'isab, Nishomot Kedushot Shiyotzu Menu. That's another teaching. And one last teaching, I think in the Chentov, it states over, I'm not too sure which page. It was Melamed Shekol Yisrael Yesh Lehem Chelek B'Torah. That's, I think, a very nice way to state over on the last teaching, as without doubt, with regards to this very, very important, let's just say, working in of itself. So that's very, very much interesting. He was a great rabbi of his time, a rabbi we've spoken about, I believe, on various occasions before. So I think it's finally the first time we have actually recorded a video within regards to him, the great rabbi. Now, friends, we're a community here. We're learning about famous rabbis of yesteryear. We've already spoken about in this series about maybe as many about 50, 60 at least rabbis that actually were great in Yemen, respectively, especially rabbis, let's just say, post that specific era in of itself. So we've spoken about many of them, which I recommend everyone to look into. We are nearing now, friends, staggering, I believe, as many as 7,500 subscribers, which is a phenomenal achievement, friends. And please, my message to you is please subscribe to the channel. We are nearing that figure, so the best way of helping the channel grow is to obviously naturally subscribe to the channel, to join. We're a community here. We love learning about great rabbis of yesteryear, especially from all the Ottoman countries, from the Sephardi countries, respectively, and North African, Asian countries. It's great to educate ourselves and very, very important. Now, on this channel itself, we also record videos on the great rabbis of not just videos of great rabbis of yesteryear. We try and speak to great rabbis of current day to give over a burst of wisdom for Am Yisrael. We see it as a very, very important project, and over here, and we're really going from strength to strength at the moment within regards to that. Another thing that we do, friends, is we tour all over different parts of Israel. We like to go all over different archaeological places. We like to explore, see some of the different Torah sites in of itself, and educate more and more and more. And Baruch Hashem, it's actual phenomenal achievement with what we're able to do at the moment. So I recommend everyone, please, to come visit and get inspired. We also do a daily Daf Yomi tidbit page on the Gemara, respectively. We try. It's very, very important, I feel, for the channel, and much more we are doing. So there's many reasons why to subscribe to the channel. Please now subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. I really, really appreciate it. And join. And please drop me a comment. I always like to hear feedback. Positive feedback, of course, is always welcomed. But just feedback in general. We've recorded already on this series approximately 1,300 plus short biography videos of great rabbis that actually happen to have come from all these countries. So let's continue going from strength to strength. And Be'ezras Hashem, just brachot here from Israel. And take care, and wishing you all more adim l'simcha. We're here coming into the third day of Sukkot over here in Israel. We're inside now. So tonight in Sukkot terms, or Shpezin terms, is the night of Yaakov Avinu. So on that note, I think that's a nice place to end, and take care, and thank you.